All right, let's jump right into a story about pilgrimage, peril, and a pretty unexpected partnership, all happening at the roof of the world in this breakdown of the high road to Kailash. You know how every great journey starts with one perfect image you just can't forget? Well, for our narrator, this is it. A flawless half moon in a perfect blue sky, with the sun making the mountains glow with a rose-tinted blush. You can just feel it, right? This isn't just a vacation, it's the beginning of something really profound. So where exactly is this road taking us? To Mount Kailash, one of the most sacred spots on the entire planet. But as we're about to find out, the journey there is just as much a part of the pilgrimage as the mountain itself.
And here it is. This is Mount Kailash, the final destination. The whole point of this trip is to complete the Kora, which is a holy walk all the way around the mountain. It's a huge spiritual quest for people all over the world. But as our narrator quickly learns, just getting to the mountain is a massive test all on its own.
Okay, so the trip kicks off on the Chongtang, this huge, high-altitude plateau. Just try to picture it. Endless, wide-open plains with maybe a few gazelles here and there. It's the kind of place that's so big and empty it can really make you feel tiny. And then, out of that total emptiness, you get this, an absolutely incredible sight. A massive herd of wild ass, they're called kyong, just thundering across the plains together, kicking up these huge clouds of dust. It's this amazing burst of wild energy right in the middle of nowhere. But it's not just wild animals out there. You've also got these guardians. The nomads' tents are protected by these enormous Tibetan mastiffs. The text describes them as blacker than the darkest night and says they explode into action like a bullet from a gun. They have absolutely no fear of cars and will chase them right off their land. It's really no wonder they used to be given as tribute to Chinese emperors.
So the journey pushes on, and as they go higher and higher, the challenges just get tougher. The wide-open plains start to give way to some seriously treacherous mountain passes.
And at this staggering height, 5,210 meters, that's over 17,000 feet, the journey just grinds to a halt. The air gets super thin, you feel the pressure building in your ears, and then you see the problem right in front of you. The road is just gone, blocked. And it's not even that the snow is that deep. The real problem is the icy top layer. One little slip and the whole car could flip over. And they can't go around it. So what do? Modern technology is totally useless here.
And this is just a brilliant example of the kind of resourcefulness you need to survive out here. Their guide, Tatan, he doesn't panic at all. He just gets out, tests the ice, and then comes up with this beautifully simple idea: use dirt for grip. He and the narrator just start throwing handfuls of soil onto the ice, and then Tatan very, very carefully drives the car across. And just like that, problem solved.
But the mountain pass isn't quite done with them yet. As they keep climbing, the altitude really hits the narrator, and his head starts to throb horribly. They finally make it to the top, over 5,500 meters, but the relief doesn't last long. On the way down, they get two punctures, one right after the other. Now they're stuck with no spare tires. This journey is just a constant fight.
You'd think after all that, conquering the pass would feel like a huge victory, right? Well, what our narrator finds on the other side is anything but.
So the narrator had read all these old accounts about the town of Hor, on the shore of the sacred Lake Manasarova, and how it moved monks to tears. The expectation was this incredibly holy place. The reality? A grim, miserable, filthy town. Basically a garbage dump sitting next to a sacred lake. The whole romantic idea of the pilgrimage just gets shattered by this harsh, dirty reality.
So they press on to Darchen, which is the starting point for the Kora. But the physical toll of the whole journey is catching up. The narrator's cold comes roaring back, and that night, things take a really terrifying turn.
He's trying to sleep, but he just can't get enough air. One of his nostrils is totally blocked. He tries breathing through his mouth, but every time he starts to drift off, he jolts awake. His chest feels incredibly heavy and congested. Sitting up helps a little, but the second he lies back down, that awful feeling comes right back. And this is the moment of pure fear. It's not just discomfort anymore. It's a gut-level feeling that something is seriously wrong. He is genuinely scared to fall asleep, absolutely convinced that if he does, he might not survive the night. He ends up staying awake the entire night, just terrified.
After a night of just sheer terror, the story takes a turn. Sometimes the lowest point comes right before things start looking up.
The next morning, Sen takes him to a Tibetan medical college.
A doctor there, looking very calm and traditional, just feels the narrator's pulse and then gives this surprisingly simple diagnosis. It's a cold, just made a lot worse by the high altitude. All that terror, the fear of dying, it was all caused by something so ordinary.
And the prescription he gets is just as fascinating. It's a 5-day course of traditional Tibetan medicine. For breakfast, a brown powder that tastes like cinnamon. Not bad. But the lunch and bedtime meds, they're these small, brown, spherical pellets that, well, let's just say they look suspiciously like sheep dung. But hey, guess what? It works.
And after just one full day of the medicine, he sleeps soundly through the night. He's going to be okay. But his guide, Seton, has to head back to Lhasa. So now a whole new problem pops up. The narrator's healthy, he's ready to go, but he's too early in the season. There are literally no other pilgrims in Darchen, and he can't do the Kora by himself.
So he's sitting in the town's only cafe, just about ready to give up, when a man sits down at his table. His name is Norbu. Turns out he's a Tibetan academic from Beijing, and he's also there to do the Kora. And he has this brilliant proposal.
I mean, it is a seriously unlikely pairing. The narrator had pictured himself walking with these devout, spiritual believers. Instead, he gets an overweight academic who complains about walking and isn't even a practicing Buddhist. But Norbu is so enthusiastic, and just as important, he's Tibetan.
And with that one meeting, the entire feeling of the journey changes. All that despair is replaced by the sound of laughter with a new friend. Norbu even suggests they hire yaks to carry their luggage, which the narrator thinks is a very good sign indeed. The goal, Mount Kailash, is suddenly within reach again.
So, a journey that began as this intense, solitary spiritual quest has completely transformed into an unexpected partnership. So the real question is, can this odd couple, two academics who've escaped from the library, actually conquer one of the holiest and most challenging mountains on Earth? Well, the answer to that, I guess, is on the high road to Kailash.